So the role is actually currently occupied by a consultancy company called Deloitte, and it's one of the main key gaps in the GDE team. So it's a designer role, which and it's for one of our financial data warehouses, which was built 2 years ago, and it spent a lot of money. We spent about £100 million on it. And this role is about the gap between getting the requirements from the business and for the developer to produce the develop the solution. So this designer solution role is to understand the requirements, go into the technical details of the financial data warehouse, and that will involve a lot of looking at SQL. It's a SQL database. Understanding the scenarios and then proposing a solution and then documenting that solution so the developer can pick that up and develop thereafter. The role will not just stop there. It will be about it will go through the whole cycle of the from development and test. So you'll be liaising with the developers as well as the testers. So the main project we'll be working on, so we've got a lot of enhancements for this financial data warehouse coming up. We went live with it 2 years ago, and anything large, as you can imagine, always needs improvements. So there's lots of improvements that we've got. We've got a lot of JIRA tickets, backlog items that we need to work through. So in the coming year, there'll be a lot of working on going through those backlog items. The other thing that we're embarking on is an improvement project for our insight, which is the feed that goes into the financial data warehouse. So this person will also get involved in that strategic project as well. So the main key skills is they've got to be very, very good at SQL. Technical, they've got to understand the technology and the business as well. So someone with financial accounting experience or background would be fantastic. You'll be working closely not only with permanent employees but also consultants. So I think it's key that there's a good communication amongst different types of parties. And yeah, like I mentioned before, you'll be working. It's not just getting the requirements and then liaising with the developers. You'll be working throughout the whole of that development life cycle and owning that user story all the way to production. So Hiscox is, I've been at Hiscox for 7 months now. The first thing I can think about Hiscox is very flexible in terms of the working from home arrangements are fantastic. And there's no pressure to go into the office. They love one of the key themes are the work-life balance, and they work well with that. They also have a lot of diversity. They've got a lot of programs going on for managing diversity within the company, and they promote a lot of well-being type activities. So Hiscox generally is a very people-orientated company, and they think of the people first. So that's one of the key elements, I'd say. So the other good thing I didn't mention about Hiscox is there's so many sideways movements and upwards movements within the Hiscox itself. So within this practice, we're in the group data engineering team, but we've had lots of movements every few years going into claims, going into reserving, going into other business units. We've got offices in Europe, US. So there's always opportunities around Hiscox, even though, like you can imagine, a lot of roles, there's a designer role, there's not much thereafter, but there's a lot of scope within the company itself. So the interview process there'll be 2 interviews. The first interview will be going through their CVs and also a more technical deep dive into experiences and their abilities. There'll be also a competency set of questions because HR will be on the first interview, which they'll go through. So the first interview tends to be about an hour, and then there'll be a second interview, which will be with either a tech director, and that will be again just an overview, personality, understanding a bit about yourselves, maybe going through the CV a little bit more, and then a bit of competency questions again.